Hello and welcome to Purpose and Power, the podcast where faith meets strategy and vision turns into impact. I am so excited that you're here today. My name is Renele Brooks. I'm the host of Purpose and Power. And this has been a long time coming, you guys. Some people call me Coach Renéé, and I'm so excited to have you here. If you're passionate about walking in your purpose, building a strong foundation for your business or nonprofit, and making an impact through mission-driven projects, you're absolutely in the right place. So I have wanted to do a podcast for so long, you guys, and this is my first time being able to actually do it. Everything kind of lined up at the perfect time, and just the timing and the place and where I'm at in my life made it all possible to happen now. So this podcast is all about equipping you with practical tools, faith-based wisdom, strategic insights to help you turn your vision into reality. So whether you're an entrepreneur or a nonprofit leader or someone that wants to step boldly in your calling, I want to help you move forward with confidence and clarity. So yay, I'm so glad you guys are here. So now let me tell you a little bit about myself and why I started Purpose Inc. So I have a business called Purpose Inc. And I started it and this podcast, Purpose and Power, because I've seen so many people have great ideas, incredible passion, but they actually struggle because they don't have the right tools or planning or direction to bring their vision to life. A lot of times people have so many great ideas, but they don't know what to do with them. And so my business, Purpose Inc., was born out of the passion to see you fulfill what God created you for. I struggled with the question, what on earth am I here for? Like, why am I here on earth? What did God intend when he created me? And so for a long time and, just trying to figure out what was going on, then the pieces of the puzzle started to come together. And I have been pursuing my purpose and my passion ever since. So part of my purpose is to assist others in discovering their purpose, the purpose for their business, organization, and really just help them develop the strategic plans to bring them to fruition. If you guys don't know, when you have a well-structured plan, you can make the impact in the earth that God wants you to make. And that's why I created Purpose and Power. And I really feel like that was the name, and we'll talk about that in a later episode. But just to give you the practical strategies for purpose-driven work, help you build sustainable organizations, and to guide you in managing mission-based projects, both locally and globally. So just a little bit about myself tells you why I'm qualified or why I have the expertise to be able to help you in this way. I've spent over 15 years working across nonprofits, local, federal, and international governments. And through these experiences, I've been blessed to help others be the solution to challenges in the communities they serve. And I'm really passionate about that. I believe that you yourself have a purpose, but I believe God has given you ideas and strategies and projects and giftings and talents to be able to bring a purpose through those things. So whether it be your business, whether it be your nonprofit organization, they are there to serve a purpose. So it's not just about you, and we'll get into that further episodes down the line, but it's really not just about you. It's about making the impact that you are supposed to make in your community, in your sphere of influence, in your metron. And so in those different areas, you're the one that has the skill set. You're the one that has a gifting. You're the one that has a calling, the purpose to be able to serve those communities. You're actually the solution. If you think about it that way, for a long time, I was just like, why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? But when I realized that I was a global solutionist called to solve problems globally that have not yet been solved, my whole world just lined up. And so when you understand and know your purpose, which we'll talk about later on, it gives you fuel to be able to move into that with confidence. And when you pair that along with a strategic plan, you will see it will just ignite fire in your living and what you stand for and how you move in the earth. And so that's really, really important. Walking in your God-given purpose when paired with strategy, it just really leads to a lasting impact. And so that's why I created Purpose Inc. And actually, that's why I created this podcast. And I was really, really excited to do it. And so just so you know, the impact that you make is paralleled with your purpose. And we're going to get into some statistics later on about profit-driven businesses versus purpose-driven businesses. And don't get me wrong, we want to make money. We absolutely want to make money. However, making money should not be the end all, be all of what we do. We're not just here for that. After all, it's not just about us. And you'll see later on as we get into some deeper episodes, you will see what I mean when I say it's not just about us, because it's just so much more. So, what can you expect from this podcast? Well, the upcoming episodes are going to dive into topics like building a strong foundation for your sustainable success. And that is key. I remember I worked at the South African consulate and we were in actually a high-rise building. So I was pretty high up, not on the top level, but we were pretty high up. So my window faced a property where they had actually torn down the old building and they were rebuilding. We didn't know what it was, and we just kept watching and watching. And I would look out the window and they just dug deeper every single day. I'm like, when are they even going to start building? They just kept digging and digging. And I was like, gosh, I was excited to see what it was going to be. I was excited to see what the foundation was going to look like. And what they were actually building ended up to be a high-rise building. But because it was a high-rise, they had to go way down and dig deep, deep, deep into the earth to be able to support the structure. And that really, really taught me a lot. We have to build a lasting foundation if we want our businesses, our projects, our organizations to be successful. And a lot of times people are so excited about their cause and they're so excited about, oh, I want to hurry up and make money. They do not really think about the work that it takes to put into the foundation. And so because they don't think about that, their businesses and their organizations are not sustainable. So understanding and pursuing your purpose is another topic that we're going to talk about. And when you understand what your purpose is, the light really comes on. The purpose of the project you are assigned to can move forward with confidence and clarity because now you have direction. The key to that is moving forward. And I say that because a lot of times ideas get stalled in the mind of great thinkers. However, implementation is where the magic takes place. A lot of people get so amped up about, oh, I got this great project. Oh, I have this great idea. Oh, I'm passionate about this great cause. But then they don't do anything. And so that excitement fizzles out and they're left with nothing. Or they start really strong, but because they do not have a solid foundation, they do not have a solid plan, they're all over the place and they don't know what to do next. So that's where Purpose Inc. comes in, and even the podcast now, Purpose and Power, to help you build strong, sustainable plans for your organization, your business, for your projects, strong, sustainable foundations so that you can build upon. There's layers. And also, when you have a strong foundation and when you have a reason and a cause and a solid strategy, that is what keeps you going when maybe you're not bringing the money in that you thought that you would bring in, or there's challenges. And so we talk about that. We talk about the risk. We talk about managing things, potential problems and struggles that may come up that you have not thought about. So As I work with my clients, one of the things that we make sure that we implement is looking at potential risks, potential problems, potential things that may stall your project. And so, with that being said, we cover those things so that we can bring solution to them before they even happen. Sometimes when you already have a plan, it's easier to say, okay, let's pivot over here. But if you do not have a plan and a major risk comes in, then what do? You start to panic. You don't know what to do next. And so we're going to talk about a lot of those things in this podcast. So again, I'm excited for you to join us. We're also going to talk about a strategic planning for your nonprofit and your business. If you have a business or a nonprofit, you really can't afford to wing it. You can't afford to wing it. So we'll get into strategies that will that you can implement that will help you bring success. And some of that is foundational, but there's a lot of other things, systems, processes, and how you implement those, your intake and your client retention management, your revenue strategy. So all of those we'll talk about. Another thing is project management for mission focused initiatives. And I am so excited about this. This is something that I really felt that God had me start to implement because I do the strategic planning. I help you plan out your 5 years. I'm so excited about this. God gave me the ability to have certification in project management. And so now what Purpose Inc. is doing is coming alongside you in your mission focused project. So all of your projects, whether it be locally or globally, the planning, the execution, the monitoring, and the closure of those projects from start to finish, this is where the deep work comes into play. When you have a project, it needs to be managed, especially if you have a project that has multiple players involved. You need the correct team in place because it is not a one-man show. You need to have risk management plans in place, communication plans in place. You need to have the correct delegation of roles and responsibilities within your project charter. You need to be able to understand communication with your stakeholders. What does that look like? How do you get things approved? What if your stakeholders are busy? How do you move forward with the project? Aligning the task and the milestones and making sure you don't miss anything. It is really, really crucial, especially for people that are doing big projects with multiple players across the globe. That is a major task to take on. So you want to make sure that you have the correct project management plan in place to be able to do that. So we'll get into some of those topics as well for those that are going across the globe, for those that are doing projects right here domestically. And finally, we will discuss real life lessons and have some guests come and share their expertise in various fields. And also, we want to share faith-based encouragement. Working a business, working on a project, leading organizations can be very, very tasking at times. You run into challenges. Sometimes it feels like you're all alone. So we want to encourage you in these podcasts to be able to keep moving forward, to give you strategies, to help you if you feel like you're getting stuck. And also Purpose Inc. is willing to come alongside and help you in that regard as well. We want to give you that faith-based encouragement to let you know that you are not alone and you can do this. God didn't leave you by yourself. So I am so super excited, you guys, about the guests. Oh my gosh, I have a series of guests that are lined up that are true experts in what they do. It's just so much that I want to share with you. And these guests are top notch. They have honed their craft. For those of you in business, we may bring in an expert that talks about psychological safety in the workplace. What culture are you creating in your business? How do your employees feel about you as a business owner? Are they walking on eggshells, or do they feel comfortable? Culture of an organization, culture of a business is key. Talking about psychological safety in the workplace is important. That fits into your core values, your mission, your vision, and so on and so on. I'm so excited, and I have been pretty much building in silence, and this is just an opportunity for me to share what God has placed on my heart, what I have been building. Just is really just for you guys. I know that part of my purpose is pulling out purpose from individuals, pulling out purpose from people's business and organization. And so, of course, I'll be sharing my own experiences, what worked, what didn't work, lessons that I've learned. My goal is for you to walk away from every episode feeling empowered, equipped, and ready to take action. So, yeah, guys, I'm so excited. This podcast, it is audio and video. And before we wrap up this introduction episode, I would love for you to do three things. One, I'm just asking that you will subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And it's going to be on Spotify and a whole list of other networks. I'll put everything in the description. Also, you can catch the video for this on my YouTube channel. So share this podcast, share it with someone you know who's on this journey to purpose. It might be exactly what they need. And we'll be having the guest on and moving forward with lots of great topics. So thank you again for being here. Really, I cannot wait. I'm so excited to walk alongside you as you build and grow and impact the world. So this is just the beginning. Let's step boldly into our purpose with power. Don't forget to check out our next episode, all about why I chose the name Purpose and Power for this podcast and how you yourself can step into purpose. Again, it's Purpose and Power, guys, where faith meets strategy and vision turns into impact. See you in the next episode.